Good morning. Um, Happy Friday. It's the 9th of May, and I forgot to turn on the light. Sorry about that. It's the 9th of May, and I am here for morning yoga. Today's yoga is going to be a practice with the Yogi Travis Eliot, and I think he put this video up 3 weeks ago, and it's titled Honoring Nature Yoga Flow to celebrate Earth Day. Apparently, Earth Day, I'm guessing Earth Day was like 3 weeks ago. So I think that this is going to be actually a power yoga flow. So it's good to have blocks handy for your props. I'm not rushing today. Earlier this week, I was like going downtown, so when I got on, I was like in a rush and didn't talk in advance because I didn't really have any time. So I'm not so rushed today, so I have a little more time to have a little bit of a conversation. So for those of you that are on for the first time and don't know me, my name is Pamela. I am a yoga enthusiast. I love all things yoga. I've been practicing yoga for about 4.5 years now. And it's just become a part of my overall wellness journey. I am a person who, over the past 10 years, I have embraced my inner athlete after, decades of not realizing that I could even be the slightest bit athletic. I used to struggle with weight for a really long time. At my highest, I weighed 280 pounds and was morbidly obese. And one day I just woke up and I'm like, why did I do this to myself? I looked back at pictures of myself in my youth, remembering when I thought that I was fat, and then I looked back in the picture and I was like, I looked great. What was my problem? Why did I have such a negative perception of myself, and why did I manifest obesity into my life? So I just made a decision to turn it around, and within a year I lost 140 pounds and really did embrace my inner athlete. And so I started, working out, just doing a little bit at a time, because I'm only 5'5", so I'm pretty, I'm not tall in the least bit. I'm technically taller than a petite person, but 5'5" is not that tall. And so at 280 pounds, it's just a lot of weight. And when I lost the weight, I ended up like losing a whole entire person. And with that much weight on me, my body hurt and it was uncomfortable. And if I ran, I got shin splints because my body just couldn't take the pounding. It was just uncomfortable. I just remember like walking to, walking from my front door to the curb. I was, breathing heavy and huffing and puffing. So when I first started exercising, I really couldn't do that much. So I just did a little bit at a time. And once I got to where, I felt good about what I was doing, like I accomplished something, then I just said, okay, well, if I did this, let me do a little bit. If I did this yesterday, let me try to do a little more today. Let me try to go a little bit further today. Let me try to go a little bit faster today. Let me try to do a little bit more. And so over time, I went from, taking like an hour to walk a mile to being able to walk a mile in like 15, 17 minutes. I went from not being able to run to being able to, to be able to like run like a tenth of a mile to be able to running like 9 miles. And I liked riding bikes, and I got to where I could like ride 100 miles in a day. And so I really embraced my inner athlete, and like my inner child, and I started doing things. That was really my approach to it. Let me do the things that I really enjoyed as a kid. So I liked walking, going on long walks and biking, and I really liked gymnastics and things like that. And while I don't really do gymnastics anymore, I do find that yoga has a lot of things in it that are similar to gymnastics. So I do handstands and headstands and back bends, and those are things that happen in yoga as well, or can. So I enjoy those things. And so when I started doing yoga, and then I'm finding like, oh, it helps me get limber, and maybe I can get my flexibility back, and because I used to be able to do the splits and put both of my legs like behind my neck and stuff like that. And so I really started doing yoga really more for flexibility than anything, but I've loved it because it's helped me build strength. It's helped me improve my flexibility, my mobility, my stability. I thought that I was a pretty balanced person, at least on 2 feet. It was hard for me to fall down, but in yoga, you can do a lot of yoga poses where you're just on 1 foot. Um, and so it's really helped me improve my balance as well. Additionally, it's helped me just from a mindfulness standpoint. So often we can be focused on, what do I need to do today? And what happened yesterday? And who doesn't like me? And, you can just like have all these things going on in your mind that are distracting and that take away from your ability to focus, to be present, to really just enjoy the moment and what's happening around you, just to really appreciate life. And so yoga is so, although you're doing things physically, it's so meditative, with the breathing and everything when you're doing it, that it helps you let go of all those things and clear your mind. And when your mind is clear and you can just be, mindful of the moment and what's going on with you and be aware of what's happening in your body and all those things, it just gives you a sense of peace. And when you have peace, you can have joy and happiness, and you can focus on things like the things that we're grateful for, and you can let go of the things that don't serve you, let go of negativity, focus on positivity, those types of things. And so those are the things that I have come to enjoy in my yoga practice. And I just think that if these things are good for me, and yoga has helped me improve in so many different ways, it can help you too, can help out everybody. I just think that it's great for any person at any age with any ability or any disability. It's great for injury prevention, relieving aches and pains, those types of things. And so it's just really good. I could go on and on and on, but I won't. But I just encourage everybody to give it a try. I personally try to do yoga 6 days a week. I do go live 6 days a week. I'm usually here Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and on Saturday at 6 a.m. Sometimes those times fluctuate based on what it is that I have going on in my schedule. Sometimes I might jump on earlier, sometimes I might jump on a little bit later, but I try to be somewhere around those time frames. Anyway, so yeah, so that's me, that's who I am. But I kind of live out loud and share my journey because it just kind of helps me stay grounded. It helps me stay focused. It helps me to remember to do things that are good for my body. I find that the more I share, the more encouragement I get from people, and the more encouragement I'm able to give people. I have lots of people that are just like, oh, you're really inspiring me. I see you doing these things, and it inspired me to go for a bike ride or a walk or just to get moving and do some things. And I tell you, in life, you shouldn't take for granted your person and your abilities, right? And if you're not intentionally doing things that are good for your body and good for your mind, all these muscles that are in our body, they may atrophy and you may not be able to use them for very long. So use it or lose it. That kind of goes for everything. Anyway, but let's go on ahead and get into this yoga. That's why I'm here. Hopefully that's why you're here as well. I do hope that you will join me on the mat. I am streaming live on two platforms, YouTube and TikTok. So if you are here watching on YouTube, I would encourage you to like and subscribe. I really would like to increase my viewership if at all possible, just build the community of people that want to do something good for themselves each and every day and just be the best version of themselves. The same is true on TikTok. On TikTok, the platform's a little bit different. You don't necessarily need to subscribe, but you know, if you follow me, if you like, if you share, if you help me achieve the goals that I set for myself, that's, you know, I'd appreciate it. So thank you in advance for that. I'm not one that really engages in the chat. I haven't mastered that yet. And usually, obviously if I'm on the mat doing yoga, I can't engage in it. But I do read comments after the practice is over. And if anybody who doesn't have a private account asks me questions or puts some comment that's worthy of a response, I do my best to try to be responsive as well. So if there's anything that you want to ask me related to yoga, related to fitness, related to weight loss, related to just trying to stay on top of mental health, staying clear and right in our minds, feel free to ask me about that, because we all are human and we all have challenges. I've had challenges with weight, I've had challenges with mental health in the past, and for the most part I feel like I've overcome those challenges. I still struggle a little bit with my weight kind of fluctuating up and down, and I'm trying to get rid of these self-sabotaging behaviors that I have that cause my weight to fluctuate. But like everybody else, I'm a work in progress here. So anyway, but ask away and I will do my best to be responsible and share and respond if I can. So yeah, let's get into this yoga again. It's going to be this is going to be like a 30-minute power yoga class honoring nature. Before I get started, I'm going to do my normal warm-up, which is a handstand, a back bend, and a headstand. I like to do all three. The back bend, I like to be intentional about improving or kind of nurturing the flexibility and mobility in my back and my spine. I do have a little bit of arthritis in my back, and so doing that every day it counters the impact of arthritis. I like to do the handstands, to work on balance and core strength and shoulder strength. The headstands are kind of the same. I can stay up in those much longer. It's great for your blood flow and circulation. So those things, I never know if a yogi is going to incorporate those things into the practice, but I like to do those every day if I can. So I start with those and then I jump into the practice. So I'll do that first and then I'll jump in. So I hope you guys will join me on the mat in just a few minutes when I get started with this honoring nature yoga flow with Travis Eliot. All right, you guys ready? This is Travis Eliot, 30-minute power yoga honoring nature.
Welcome to Yoga for Nature and a celebration for Earth Day. My name is Travis Eliot, and this month I'm focusing on celebrating Earth Day through the practice of yoga and this whole theme of finding harmony with ourselves and also harmony with the environment that we are all a part of. This special class is in collaboration with the World Wildlife Fund, an incredible organization that serves nature and really envisions a future where we live in harmony with nature as well. So I would like to invite you to go visit their website and make a donation so that they can continue to do their profound work that they do. They also have an amazing program called Give an Hour Back, and in this particular program you can track your activities of how you're giving back to nature, and I encourage you also to check out the links that we have down below. So in this Vinyasa Yoga style class, we're going to move through poses and sequences that really honor and celebrate nature. So with no further ado, thank you again for joining me. Let's go ahead and begin. And we'll start off in butterfly pose. So one of the great things about yoga and the tradition of yoga is how so many of the postures and poses are inspired by nature. So we'll start off with butterfly pose, allowing the soles of the feet to touch, knees open out, and then take an inhale, lift up tall through your chest, through your spine, and then on an exhale, just begin to fold over and down to your own degree. As you start to begin to move the wave of breath with a little bit more rhythm and fluidity in and out through your nose. Breathing in for about 3 to 4 seconds. And breathing out for about 3 to 4 seconds as well. And therefore bringing the mind into a greater state of calmness, of presence, and awareness. So more important than what we do is how we do what we do, and bringing that awareness into our physical practice. Take a couple more breaths there. As the great John Muir said, the mountains are calling and I must go, so now we must go into a nice nature-inspired flow. So go ahead and come all the way back up. Hands to the outer knees. Join the knees together, cross the legs, the ankles, and roll over to tabletop pose. All fours position. Stacking the shoulders above the wrists, knees beneath the hips. And then now we'll come into cat and cow. So on an inhale, you drop your belly down for the cow pose. So your belly, like the udders, hanging low. And then on the exhale, round the back, curl the chin in for cat pose. A couple more like that. Inhale, cow. Spread wide through the chest. And then on the exhale, round in. This time we'll add a lion's breath. So inhale, drop the belly, cow pose. And then stick out the tongue. Exhale, strong out the mouth. One more time for good measure. Inhale. And lion's breath. Stick that tongue out. Let's hear that roar. Beautiful. From here, come back to tabletop pose, and then we'll step back to a plank pose, upper push-up position, creating that diagonal from the heels to the top of the head. You can always modify this easily by dropping the knees down if you want. Take a goodbye inhale, plank. And then as you exhale, use your strength to lower slowly all the way down to your belly. Release the tops of the feet. Keep the hands next to the ribs. And then on the inhale, gently draw the chest up, little cobra pose. And then on the exhale, chest back down. A couple more like that. Inhale, elbows in, chest spreads. And then exhale, lower chest, chin and head. One more time, inhale, waking up the back. And then on the exhale, lower down, tuck the toes, and then down dog, lift your hips all the way up to the sky. So we've already visited butterfly, visited the cow, the cat, the cobra, and now the down dog. Feel free to pedal out through the feet, stretching out to the backs of the legs, couple breaths here, working out the kinks, untying the knots. And then hands a little bit wider than the shoulders, fingers spread wide, root down through the palms. Take a good by inhale, gently stretch back, down dog. And then as you exhale, you're gonna walk your feet all the way forward, top of your mat, spread the feet out about the width of the hips. Slide the hands up to the shins, beneath the knees, flat back. Take an inhale there, draw out through the heart. Forward fold, exhale, let it go. A couple more like that. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold down. One more time. Inhale, pull out long. And exhale, fold in. Mind calm. Put a little bend into the knees. Shift the hands up to your waist. Lead through your heart. And then on the inhale, rise and fly. Both arms all the way up overhead. And then hands to prayer position, right in front of your chest. Close the eyes for a moment. And see if you can dedicate your practice to the beauty, the wonder of nature. And what nature means to you. And how nature has supported you. And dedicating this practice as we celebrate Earth Month, the World Wildlife Fund organization, and all they do to envision this future where we live in harmony with the animals and we live in harmony with our surroundings. Blink the eyes open. Henry David Thoreau said, "Heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads." So feel that sacredness below you, above you, and all around you. On an inhale, reach those arms up above you, upward salute. And then as you exhale, you're going to take your elbows and pull those in towards your ribs. Lean back a little bit, spread through the chest. And then on the inhale, reach those arms up overhead. And then now bring the hands around behind your lower back, interlace the fingers. Take an inhale, draw the knuckles down, pull the chest up, lean back. And then on the exhale, fold over and down. Take a good by inhale, releasing the tension to the upper back and the shoulders. And then on the exhale, release the hands back down. Flat back on the inhale, hands to shins. And then step back to plank pose, hold there. Take one inhale. Remember, you can always drop the knees down if you want. And then on the exhale, lower slow with control. Cobra on the inhale, chest draws forward. And then on the exhale, down dog. You can either come through a push-up or you can come to tabletop pose and then back. And remember, your breath is steady. So your breath is the wave that we surf with, the wind that we sail with, the river current that we raft with. No breath, no current. Spread the fingers wide, wrap the outer shoulders back, take an inhale, deepen that stretch. And then on the exhale, both feet forward, top of the mat, so we find a little groove. Flat back, inhale, spine out. Forward fold, exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise and reach both arms all the way up. And then on the exhale, pull the elbows to the ribs, gently lean back, spread the chest. Inhale, arms up overhead, and then hands behind the lower back, interlace. Take an inhale, draw the sternum up, pull the knuckles low. And then on the exhale, fold over and down. Take a goodbye inhale as we dissolve tension and create more space. And exhale, release both hands down with grace. Flat back on the inhale, elongate through the torso. This time, step back to plank. Same exhale, we'll lower down with control. Cobra on the inhale, arching the back, invigorating the spine. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Beautiful, you guys. Take an inhale, stretch back, deepen in as those palms press extra firm. And then on the exhale, walk those feet top of the mat. And then flat back on the inhale. Forward fold on the exhale. From here, we're going to spread the feet towards the outer edges of the mat. Turn the toes out, flick the heels in. And then come down into a yoga squat here. You can always sit on top of a block, or you can roll something to go underneath your heels here. And then just join the palms together, which is symbolic of balance and harmony. So the right palm symbolic of yang energy, left palm symbolic of yin energy. It's all about the balance and the harmony of these polarities. Power and gentleness, strength and sensitivity, and also symbolic of the harmony between the individual and the collective. From here, on the inhale, rise, both arms all the way up overhead. And then on the exhale, hands to prayer position. From here, heel toe the feet together side by side. And then balancing on your right foot, right leg, we're going to come into a tree pose. Got to do a tree pose for Earth Month, right? So, if you're ready, left sole of the foot to that inner right thigh. You could also bring it to the inner foot if that's hard for you. You could even slide it off to the side. So, within all these postures and poses, you have to find the way, you have to find the expression that works for you. So no one right way to do the pose. Hands can stay at prayer. You could reach the arms up, spread those like a Y shape. You could rotate the palms to face each other. And I love that quote by Khalil Gibran that says, trees are poems written across the sky. Take one last inhale, reaching those arms up high. And then hands to prayer. From here, you're going to kind of lunge, float, step the left foot all the way to the back of your yoga mat. Right toes dead ahead, left toes angle slightly forward. Warrior one pose. So both arms reach all the way up to the sky. And the warrior poses are symbolic of cultivating that warrior energy. That sometimes we need that warrior energy to fight for the vulnerable, to fight for that which needs protection, like this planet or a certain species. Take a big inhale, reach up, and then belly on right thigh, arms behind. A couple more like that. Inhale up, warrior one, and then exhale, belly on thigh. One more time. Inhale, ascend, and exhale, sweep the arms back. Now inhale, rise up, warrior one, and then warrior two, open out to the left, line your right heel up with your back and your left arch, and notice both arms right in alignment with each other. Breath in the flow, mind in that yoga zone. The zone is the zone of presence. So I'm not planning for the future, I'm not dwelling on the past, but I'm in this moment right here, right now. Flip that right palm up, reverse your warrior. So left hand grazes your outer left hip or leg. Right arm reaches up and back as you get long through the whole right side of your torso. Now notice your right knee still bending deep. Take a goodbye inhale there. And then back to warrior two. Straighten the right knee, right leg. Scoot the back foot in a little bit closer. Line the feet up heel to heel. Keep your front right leg straight. And then inhale, reach out to the right arm. And then triangle pose, so right hand comes down on top of your shin or your foot. Stack your arms right on top of each other. If it feels okay on your neck. You could turn your gaze up towards the sky, but also okay to look down or even over to the side. So whatever feels good for your neck. Keeping that breath steady, so it's almost like there's never an inhale that goes by where you're not sucking the breath down deep as can be. Beautiful. Now, keeping the breath in the flow, bring your left hand to your left waist, turn your gaze down, look out in front of the right foot about a foot or so, and then half moon. I'm going to use my block here. You can use yours too if you have one, otherwise fingertips are fine. So in front of the right foot, a little to the right. When you're ready, take that left arm and reach it all the way up to the sky. So you challenge your balance. On a physical level, you challenge your balance. And then you keep that breath in a state of balance, inhalations and exhalations, same length, same duration. And you experience that equal give and receive. Beautiful. Now in slow-mo, put a little bend into that right knee. Float step back to your warrior two, light as can be. Reverse that warrior, inhale, come gliding back. And then on the exhale, you're going to windmill your arms down to the mat, pivot onto the back left toes, and then release your left knee down onto the floor. So in yin yoga, we call it the dragon pose. And Hatha Yoga, Vinyasa Yoga, it's often called the lizard pose. So let's do the lizard that grabs its tail. So you're going to bend your back left foot in and you're going to reach back with your right hand and see if you might be able to grab your tail. If you can't, all good, just do what you can. You can always lasso a towel or a strap around that back foot as well. And then you give yourself just a really, really deep quadricep stretch here. Keep breathing. Give that one last little squeeze, and then relax that left leg back. Bring your right hand to the inside of the right foot. Scoot your right foot a little over to the right. And then from here, you can crawl down. And if you have a block or a prop, you could slide that underneath the forearms so you elevate the floor to meet you, depending on what you're feeling in your hip. Some of you may bring the elbows, the forearms, all the way down towards the floor as you get deep into that hip joint. So notice what you're feeling. And then without judgment, only with compassion, you breathe into whatever's there. Trusting that whatever's there is probably there for a good reason. And that these body parts have been yearning for your full, undivided attention. Breathe into what you're feeling. Beautiful. Come up onto those hands. Bring the right hand to the outside, the right foot as you recenter that right foot up. Tuck the left toes underneath. Let that left knee as you inhale. Step it forward to meet the right as you exhale. Flat back inhale, pull out the kinks. And then forward fold. Melt in deep. Spread the feet out, the width of the mat. Turn the toes out, flip the heels in. And come back into your yoga squat. So hands back to prayer position in front of your chest. So, you could either stay here, or those of you that want to challenge your strength and your balance, crow pose is an option. So if you're feeling a little adventurous, plant the palms, shoulder width apart, come up onto the tips of your toes, and maybe you just stay here, and this is your variation of crow. Some of you may lift one foot up, some of you may lift both feet off the ground, and wherever you're at, just take about 3 or 4 more breaths. One last inhale. And then back to that squat on the exhale. All right, whatever just happened, let it go. Take a good wide inhale through the nose. And then out the mouth, exhale, sigh it out. On an inhale, stand up, both arms overhead. And exhale, hands to prayer, heel toe. Feet together side by side. So we set up for tree on the other side. So lean into that left foot. Find the variation that works for you. Either right foot over to the right. You can balance the heel on the inner ankle, or you can lift it all the way up to that inner thigh. And any variation and expression that feels right for your arms. Imagining your left leg is the roots of the tree. Your torso is the trunk. Your arms are the branches. Your fingers are the leaves. And that little wobbly shape that's natural here in tree pose is the tree yielding to the natural flow of wind. One last inhale, full expression, and then hands back to prayer. Float step, right foot all the way to the back. Left toes dead ahead, get the feet set, establish your foundation. And then as you're ready, warrior one. So outer back right foot strong. Take an inhale, reach up, and then belly on thigh, arms behind. Inhale with the breath. Exhale, sweep it back. Inhale, rise with lightness. Exhale, sweep it back with finesse. Inhale up, warrior one. And then warrior two, we turn that corner. Right arm hovers above the back right leg. Left arm hovers above the left thigh. And you find that million-mile stare. When you commit to nothing, you become distracted by everything. So your focus and your concentration like a laser, keeping you on the path of what's deeply important and meaningful to you. Flip that left palm up, reverse your warrior. Come on back. As you breathe into your left ribs and your left lung, flexible through your waist. In the same way that we take care of our bodies, we take care of this planet, and vice versa. One last inhale there, and then exhale back to warrior two. Straighten that left leg. Scoot that back foot in a little bit. Tree pose, or I should say triangle pose. Left hand comes down. Right arm all the way up to the sky. And then you find that place to bring your focus and your concentration. Where the mind goes is where the energy flows. Beautiful. Right hand to right hip. Little bend in that left knee. Feel free to use a prop here if you want. Half moon pose. So we did some sun salutations, honoring the energy of the sun. Now we're in a half moon, honoring that lunar energy. And again, all about the balance. There's so many great teachings, so much wisdom that doesn't have to be found in a book, but can actually be found within the great rhythms and laws of nature. Put a little bend in that left knee, float step back to warrior two, reverse the warrior, inhale, and then on the exhale, cartwheel the hands down, pivot on right toes, release the right knee down, and here we are, back to lizard pose. Let's get that tail, bend that back foot in, see if you can reach back, grab that foot. Make sure you're not holding your breath in this pose. Also make sure you're not making a scary look on your face in this pose as you grab that back foot. Don't want to scare anybody. Soften the face, calm the mind. One last little squeeze, goodbye. Relax that right leg back. Left hand inside the left foot. Start to climb down to your own degree. Maybe put putting some props to go underneath your forearms or your elbows. Beautiful, you guys. Ease your way all the way back up onto your hands. Left hand to the outside, that left foot. Tuck the right toes underneath, lift the right knee. Step back to plank as you inhale, so upper push up or modified. And then exhale, lower down. Last vinyasa. Cobra on the inhale. Inflate the heart. And then exhale to our last downward facing dog. Take a big inhale through the nose. And then side out the mouth. Exhale, let it go. Good. Now, inhale, stretch back. And then exhale, release the knees down into the mat. From here, we're going to come into a deer pose. Deer pose is from the yin yoga tradition. So for this one, right leg forward, bend it 90 degrees. Left leg over to the left. Left shin runs flush down your yoga mat. Torso forward. And then you're going to begin to allow the torso to fade out over that right leg. And we'll hold this one a little bit longer. So get settled. Close your eyes. You can put your hands as fists underneath your forehead if you want, or grab your prop. As we just get deep into that outer right hip. There's a story of a hummingbird in a forest that suddenly was engulfed in fire and flames. And the jaguar, beginning to escape the flames, running away and out of the forest, sees the hummingbird and says, "What are you doing?" And the hummingbird says, "I'm going to get water to spread onto the flames." And the jaguar scoffs at the hummingbird, saying, "But you're too small, you'll never make a difference." And the hummingbird says, "I am one with the forest is one with me, it is my home, and therefore I will do whatever I can to extinguish these flames." The jaguar quickly runs away as the hummingbird continues to scoop its tiny little beak into the river, spreading the tiny little droplets of water on top of the fire with unwavering determination and devotion. And then minutes later, the spirit of the forest, sensing the purity and the devotion of this hummingbird, created a rainstorm that eventually came and completely extinguished the fire, saving many lives and protecting. And so in our lives, doing our small part, which can feel often very insignificant, to do what we can to protect this planet, to honor nature, and to remember that when the individuals collectively join and bond together, miracles too can happen, and the impossible becomes possible. Ease your way all the way back up onto your hands. And then rotate the knees to face the back of your yoga mat. So essentially we're doing now deer pose on the other side. Grab my block here and then fold out over that left leg. Slow the breath down. Slow the mind down. And allow yourself to drop not only deeper into the body, but also deeper into the mind, so that you're not stuck superficially on the surface of things, but accessing greater dimensions and depth that lies hidden underneath the surface. couple more breaths there. And slowly ease your way all the way back up. Spin your knees to face forward towards the top. Swing around here. And then recline all the way onto the back, extending the left leg forward, right knee hugs in. Open the right arm to the right, take the right knee over to the left, to a reclining twist here. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side, so right leg forward, left knee in, left arm to the left knee twist all the way over. Good, and then just hug the knees into the belly, curl the forehead up to the knees, give everything one last big squeeze. And then Shavasana, release all the way down to your back. Shaolin tradition, they say that even the strongest trees must shed its leaves before it can bloom again. So in this final pose, we completely let go, shedding everything away before we move into the rest of our day. Take one last deep inhale through the nose. And then out the mouth, exhale, let it go. Shavasana, final rest. From here, start to move the fingertips and the toes. And then draw the knees, the thighs back into the belly. Gently rock and roll your way all the way up to a last final seated position, where we'll seal the deal. As you get up to seated, bring the hands to prayer position in front of your chest, in front of your heart. Just bringing an image of the whole entire planet into your mind, into your heart. And then as you hold this image, silently repeating the phrase, may this planet be held in the power of goodness and compassion. May this planet be held in the power of goodness and compassion. So repeat that on your own, just sending these waves of compassion, of loving kindness. The planet Earth, and all the life that it contains. Allow the phrases to fade away. Allow the image, planet, to also fade away as you clear the sky of your awareness. And you feel that deep gratitude and reverence for this practice, bringing you back to the importance of our connection to this planet and to providing an opportunity to cultivate harmony within yourself and therefore harmony with all other forms of life. An old Serbian saying that says, "Be humble, for you're made of the earth, but be noble, for you're made of the stars." Thank you for your practice. Namaste. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me for this special yoga class in partnership with the
I liked that. I hope you guys did as well. It made me think of this time that I was in Mexico, in Tulum, and I was sitting on the beach and I was just watching the water and the waves, and this some kind of bird or duck or something was sitting on the water and just kind of just floating around, and I was just reminded, and then I'm watching these other birds and I'm just like, wow, God is so good, and what he has created on this earth is so magnificent, and it everything that God has created has inspired everything that has been created. So when you think about, I hopped on a plane, you know, that plane was inspired by the birds that fly. You think about, I went out on a boat or got on a cruise or whatever, and that vessel that's floating on the water is inspired by those birds that are floating on the water. You think about, look at the trees, and when it's raining and all the leaves on the trees inspired umbrellas and things like that. It just makes me really appreciate exactly how amazing and great God is, and how much he provides us. You know, he provides us with inspiration to be creative and to have ingenuity and innovation and things like that, and it's just wonderful. So I liked this practice where you are appreciating the earth and nature, and all that it reminds us of. So that was my experience on the mat. I don't know what your experience was, but mine was good. It reminded me to focus and to breathe and to clear my mind of things that are distractions and that may, you know, take me off course. So yeah, it was just great. It's a great way to start the day for sure. Thank you guys for being here with me. I really appreciate you. I will be back again in the morning. I hope you will as well. So until we meet again, be blessed. Have a great day.